What's up, YouTube? Valdez Budgets here. We're going to do some cash stuffing later. I wanted to take a moment and just do an update on what's going on with me and the kids. Yes, I'm still unemployed. I'm still actively looking, but not applying to every single job posting I see. I know it's important to try and find that stable income, but I'm okay for right now, as of right now. Today is December 14th. Yep, December 14th. And I have been unemployed for the last month, 4 weeks. And in that time, it's been rough to a point where I don't have a schedule. My routines are off. My sleep is way off. And I've scoured the internet like most people do, right? Most of us are graduates of YouTube University. And we try to find solutions, and we try to look for ideas of how to go about doing certain things. So that's what I did. I went online and I sought, what to do when you're laid off, right? So yes, I've applied for unemployment. That hasn't kicked in yet. Again, I'm okay. I'm not too worried about that. But when shit hits the fan, I have contingencies in place. And it doesn't involve my this stuff here, right? It involves stuff that I have put away for a while, for instances like what could come up. So the reason why I'm doing one of these vlogs or video blogs or whatever you call it is because I looked on the internet and I found people in the same boat as me, or me in the same boat as them, what they've gone through. And it doesn't matter if you've gone through a tech layoff, a construction worker layoff, a desk job layoff. It doesn't matter. You are laid off. So definitions aside, laid off is practically being fired. I watched a video from a guy named Darnell Clark. He's no longer living, and that's the beauty of YouTube and the internet. You can find things of people long ago, and they have a gift that they've shared with the world. And Darnell would say, hey, yeah, you got laid off, but let's call it for what it really is. You got fired. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then he said, go ahead and try, if you get laid off, tell them, yeah, I'm going to work through the weekend and then I'll come back on Monday, right? And, they won't let you in, right? They want you gone that day. So that's how it was for me. I was doing, it was a Thursday, and usually on Thursdays in the morning at 8:45, I get myself ready from 8 o'clock to 8:45 at work, and I go do new hire orientation. I like to stand up in front of people and talk. I know that it's not something that most people can do, but I like to do that. So I would do new hire orientation, the safety portion, right, of what to do, what not to do, things like that, just a brief overview. And I already knew in that morning that something was going to go down. And so before I went down to the training room, I packed up my bag. I packed up all my stuff that I would take with me, right? For the last couple of months, I had a last day list to make sure I grabbed certain things out of there. And I got that list and I put it next to my keyboard. And I'm like, well, the vibe is off, but it's not going to stop me from performing. So I packed up my bag, because I'd purged my office months ago, right, of the stuff that I don't need, that is personal, that I could live without if I just ended up in leaving. So I packed my bag. I had another small box underneath my desk. I go down to do my safety orientation, and I give the best performance I could, right? Lots of laughs, lots of teaching moments, right? Because these are new hired employees. Their anxiety's through the roof. They just want to know when they get paid and when the next time they have to work. And so I like to have fun down there, and I showcase my gift of connecting with people and speaking in front of people and just really connecting with them. So I did that, and I get back to my office. It's about 10 o'clock or so, and I get back to my office. I have to come down from this high from speaking. It's usually my flow state when I start to speak in front of groups of people, and I teach them things. As soon as that starts to wear down, right, then reality kicked in. I'm like, oh yeah, I just packed up my bag, right? My computer wasn't even on. And then boss comes, he knocks on my door. I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, hey, big boss wants to go talk to us. I'm like, sure, down in the resume room. Now down in the lobby, there's a room called the resume room. Right? When it was built, we all joked about you need a resume to get in there. You need a resume when you leave. And when they said resume room, I'm like, oh, here it is, because we had to have corporate HR there, big boss, my boss, and I'm like, okay. So I let my boss go first, right? I come down from my speaking high and I go downstairs with them. I see the receptionist, give her a big smile because it's what we do to people, right? To make their day, make them feel good. I go in and sit down and break the news. I was a part of a decisional unit group amongst the U.S. Companies, and my number came up. So people in my position, there was 3 of us at the time. There was 5 of us probably about a year ago, but it ended up being 3 across the U.S. My number got picked, and again, I had a breakdown of what it said and how the decision was made. And it was okay. I kind of felt embarrassed in the moment, right? So I smiled. I said, hey, it's business, right? Style and grace to the last day, right? None of the feelings started to hit just yet because I wanted to make sure I didn't, make a fool out of myself in the moment and say something I would regret. They showed me my agreement, my separation agreement, my severance package, all that stuff. Basically, it was just gibberish to me. I couldn't read it in the moment. They said, take some time, take it home, read it. I'm like, yeah, I'm almost packed up in my mind, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. I don't know how I feel. So I go up back to my office, I grab all my stuff, and I nonchalantly take it to my truck in the parking lot. I sit in the parking lot, I'm like, oh man, I forgot one more thing, right? My kettlebell. I kept a 20-pound kettlebell in my office so I can do some, just some move around movements and lift that. So I'm like, you know what? Nah, that's mine. I'm gonna go get it. So I went to go get it, and still smiling at everybody. No one knew. And I go to my office. I had a folder, grabbed my kettlebell. My boss's office was right next to mine. And I said, hey, I went to say goodbye. He goes, hey, Keone, you really did do a good job while you were here. I'm like, hey, thanks, man. He goes, if you ever need a reference, recommendations, like, for sure. I'm saying yes so I can get out of there. But I know he really did mean that. So I go downstairs and I see the receptionist. And this is the person we see every day, Monday through Friday, right? She's the face of the company, right? That's where all the visitors and contractors and new people get to see. So I said, hey, Lori, today's my last day. She was super surprised, and I was like, yeah, just got laid off, and I'm all ready to go. Here's my phone number if you need it, because I had a work phone, and everybody I knew at work, I had their personal number on my work phone, so I didn't have time to download anything, send out the last emails, right? I didn't get the cake, right? And the party at the very end with like everybody else gets when they leave or choose to leave or go somewhere. And, I was being asked to leave because, the downsizing or whatever words they're going to use. Basically, I was just laid off. So I get in my truck. I wave goodbye to a couple people in the parking lot as if I was just going to lunch because it was around that time. And I drove off. So a month later, what have I done? Well, I've watched my budget. I've watched my diet. I've made sure my kids were good. When I broke the news to them, they got a little sad because I was involved with the community a lot. I did a lot of things in the name of our company, right? They bought my clothes, right? I basically wore, the company's name on my clothing everywhere I went for the past 6 years. So they were a little bit sad, and I told them, hey, it's just one of those things that happens, and it's nothing to take personal, right? I'm trying to make sure their sanity is taken care of. So a month goes by. I'm working with a career coach. I'm not doing the homework that she has asked. It's a little bit difficult to stay focused in those things when your mind is going every which way. I've watched YouTube videos upon YouTube videos, some good, some bad, some shitty, some great. But it basically comes down to, hey, this platform could help you. And I used to see a therapist earlier this year, and I stopped seeing them because, I was good, right? They gave me a clean bill of health, all that good stuff, right? So I might go back because some people say, hey, lean on your friends. Like, well, most of them I knew they were work friends. I lost my friend group and friend community outside of work a year and a half ago. So I don't really have them to lean on. I have YouTube to lean on, meaning doom scrolling, which is not healthy at all. That time of the year is coming up where people decide to make New Year's resolutions and change themselves and change blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. I don't do those things anymore. It's 3 years ago. I weighed 315 pounds. Right, I'm only 5'8", right? Little Asian dude. I'm at 215 today. Right, so I lost and made my goal of 100 pounds. I tried to do it within a year, but then that one thing that came out, COVID happened, and shit happened to a lot of people. So I was still employed. I still do things, but my diet and workouts were garbage. So I continued to train and try to eat right, but then I got some additional help. And then with this layoff, I wanted to make sure that I stuck to all of that, to make sure that I don't just waste away, or like some of the videos you see, people, they take 2-3 weeks to just veg out and do nothing. And I did all that, right? But I would go to different places like the public library or the college library, jump on the internet and just try to make sure my budget's a-okay. Watch more budgeting videos. Again, I love those nails that some of the ladies wear and some of the displays and things. The kids and I, we're going to try and do some of that stuff too. So we're filming on our dining room table. We don't have a recording suite like most everybody else. We don't have mics and those setups, but I just want them to know that, hey, as time goes on, we can do those things. So as I film this blog or this vlog about what's going on with me, yeah, I've applied to certain places, but I can't apply to too many places because my unemployment states I need to apply at least two places a week. And I don't want to exhaust all those spots I really want to work at in just one day. Do I need a bridge job between jobs? Maybe. I don't know yet. I know what I don't want to do, and I know what I would do if that came to it. So to maintain my mental health in a positive way, I'm budgeting my money, playing with money, right? Playing with these cards, going out and getting some physical exercise. It's too cold to go out and walk, right? I don't have like the really cool gym clothes. I don't do that. So I go out to like stores like the mall or Walmart and just walk around, right? Most of the people I would see, they're already at work, so I don't see a lot of people that I know in town. If this helps anybody, great. Our job with these videos that we do, the kids do, it's meant to just for us to put it out there to help somebody else. We're not being monetized. We're not being paid to do anything. We're just giving you our time, as we would normally. We would volunteer our time for certain things. Like the company I worked for, we'd volunteer for festivals, community events. It's winter time. There's winter carnivals, winter gatherings and things like that. We would volunteer for those things. So with the loss of my coworker friends and loss of my job, I've come to terms of, I've recognized that I'm not a robot and that I am not my job. Because people used to ask me, hey, what do you do? I was like, oh, I do safety, people safety, occupational safety. They're like, oh, do you love it? I'm like, absolutely. It's like, would you do it for free? I'm like, yes, but I'm not one of those cats that won the lottery. So yes, I'd have to be, paid to do those type of things. But it's a job that I love. And I have to remember that in these times that there's the mundane where I can focus on my budget, I can keep busy, but then there's in between times of thinking. Sometimes it becomes a shroud of shit, meaning it just cloaks over you and you can't get out. And if you have a great support system, reach out, right? Grab your phone, right? Text somebody, call somebody, jump on the internet, right? Try to comment on something or get a dialogue with somebody. Reach out to a therapist. Now, I know it's a little cliche about, some of us, we can't go say these things out loud. Yeah, it's okay, right? I train with guns. I train jiu-jitsu to try to be harder to kill, right? So I'm pretty in check with my emotions. I'm still going through a divorce, so I can't go out and date everybody I want to. So I'm still in the bankruptcy, right? So I'm trying to, weigh these things. Which of all of these things I need to put my time into? First and foremost, it's my children, right? It's them first, right? But when they're set, I can then focus on me and making sure that my head's on straight, right? I need to prioritize my sleep, right? Practice mindfulness, right? Be positive in the shitty moments, right? You can't do it all the time, but you can try to eat clean, go back to old positive vices like, using music as therapy. I've unleashed my creativity. I've made a whole bunch of cash trays for budgeting, right? They look like this. I made a video on that and uploaded it. But doing arts and crafts type stuff to keep the mind busy, keep the hands busy, right? Spend time in nature. Well, it's cold as hell outside, so I don't want to go outside unless the temps get a little bit warmer. But I don't mind going outside to get a breath of fresh air. Next thing I might try to do for this month, if I'm still unemployed, is volunteer my time during the school day. When my kids are in school, there's not so much things I can do. I can maybe go hang out for 2-3 hours at the library, and then go do something else. Maybe go for another walk or go lift some weights. But I might start volunteering just to give back, to have that interaction and teach what I know. I don't know a lot, but of what I do know, I kind of know it decent enough. So for the rest of these vlogs that I'm going to do, it should be a lot of updates, right? Hopefully one day I can face the camera and look into it and speak to you eye to eye, or eye to how many of our eyes you got. I don't know who I'm talking to now. But again, if this helps you, great. But just know that it does suck, right? For lack of a better term, it sucks. But there are ways to get through it, right? You're going to have to get through it, meaning you just can't go from here, laid off, and then jump to the end to a brand new job, right? All of us are that lucky, or jump from here, jump to winning the lottery, because again, none of us are that lucky. But you have to muddle through all of that stuff. And as you get through all of that stuff, you're going to need help along the way. If you have the help, or people trying to help you, take it. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't say, yeah, I always listen to me, I always, give advice. I never listen to my own, right? It's about time you start looking in the mirror and say, hey, I'm gonna have to talk to you for a second, right? We're not doing so hot right now. We need to listen, right? I've already had the talks in the mirror, right? I've already wiped the guy's tears off that I see in the mirror. He's a cool dude, but sometimes, he can't be brave all the time. He's scared too sometimes. So reaching out like this, hopefully I'm able to talk to people, right? And hopefully this dialogue can continue with somebody else. They can email me, DM me, or however they need to get a hold of me, just to have a conversation about what they went through, or how they're dealing with what they got going on, or if somebody has just, been laid off, or just got fired, or is still struggling, what it's like for them. So, list of stuff. What to do next? Well, next, volunteer. And then what? Keep looking for jobs. And if you don't have a list or a planner or something written down that you can physically see, right? Now, don't type it into your phone, but physically see, right? It's the hand-mind connection, right? Head, mind, heart connection. So try that. Utilize that. Make a list for yourself. Cross things off if need be, right? Get that dopamine kick by crossing things off, checking things off. Once you have something done, check it off. Get kids to school on time. That's tough for me because I go to bed late and I'm expected to wake up and take them to school, right? Well, not having a job, I don't feel, obligated to go to bed early. But sometimes I get stuck reviewing, and time gets away from me. So hopefully this has helped you out. Again, we'll have a budget or a cash envelope stuffing video pretty soon. I just wanted to start this vlog to let you guys know, or any one person know, what's going on with us. My name is Valdez Budgets. I'm out.